Hi there, it's Wendy Hernandez with Command the Courtroom. In this week's video, I want to talk with you about struggle as you move through your court case. So I wanted to bring this up because I had been fretting for several weeks about what to do in one of my cases, and let me tell you about the situation. Back in August or September, the parties had engaged in a full day mediation session with a mediator who was court appointed, and they arrived at a full agreement. And in Arizona, these agreements, if they're in writing and signed by both parties, are called Rule 69 agreements, and they are binding in the eyes of the court, and it's very difficult to get out of it. So in this case, the parties reached a full agreement, and a week or two after signing the agreement, my client decided that he really didn't want to go through with the agreement. And I thought, oh no, it's going to be really hard to get out of this. And I started searching for a ground on which we could withdraw from the agreement. And then my client changed his mind again and said, yes, I do want to go through with the agreement. And then he changed it again. And now he's at the point where he doesn't want to go through with the agreement and he wants to go to trial. So, I've been picking the brains of fellow attorneys, trying to figure out a way to get out of this agreement. And by the way, I don't think the agreement is a terrible agreement for my client. Could my client have been done better? Maybe. But a lot of times in mediation, both parties compromise and they end up committing to things that they're not 100% happy with in favor of getting a result short of trial. That's kind of beside the point. So we had some deadlines come up right around the holidays where the court was saying, you need to either submit this agreement in writing to the court, in the way that the court wants to see it all typed up looking pretty, or you need to file a motion to set this case for trial. And I wasn't in a position where I could submit the agreement in writing because that's not what my client wanted to do. So again, I was stressed out doing research, trying to figure out how can we get out of this agreement. And finally, I decided to just kind of talk to the other attorney about it and let the other attorney know my client didn't want to go through with it. And much to my shock, the other attorney just said, okay, let's set it for trial. And that's what we did. And now we have a trial date and my client's getting what he wanted. And, I will tell you, if I were the attorney on the other side, I would have done something very different. I would have not just said okay. I would have insisted that that the parties go through with the agreement that they both agreed to. But who knows what this other attorney's client is telling him or where she is. Maybe she didn't want to be in the agreement either. Or maybe she didn't want to abide by the agreement either. The point is in my head, I was making the situation a little more difficult and maybe a little more complicated than it needed to be. And because so much of this family law is arguing and fighting, I just presumed that it was going to be a big fight to get where my client wanted to be. And really, if I had just thought of asking him right off the get-go if they would agree to XYZ, then maybe we could have been off and running a month ago or a month and a half ago. So don't overlook the easy solution. Just because something is easy doesn't mean that it can't happen. We're not meant to struggle all the time. In fact, I don't think that we're meant to struggle most of the time. Most of us put the weight of struggles onto ourselves. We create a lot of the struggle. If there's any situation that you're facing in your life, whether it's co-parenting or in your family law case with your attorney, in your relationships with others, where you're struggling, ask yourself, is there an easier way? And could there be an easier way? And be open to the possibility that there might be an easier way. So that's one of my mantras for 2018, is looking for an easier way to resolve conflict. And sometimes it just involves asking. And, if the answer is no, okay, you're no worse off than you were before, but it doesn't hurt to ask, right? So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Remember to like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook. Keep your eyes open for some stuff that's going to be coming in the next month from Command the Courtroom. Until next week, keep on trucking and remember to command the courtroom.